How far can you get on the map off the coast if you're only allowed to place towers on top of the boat? That's what we're gonna try to find out in today's video. I'm pretty sure that this is another idea that has been suggested to me by my viewers a few times in the past, but I chose not to try it because of one reason: too little space. Now, having little space, you might say, is sort of the point of these types of challenges that I've been doing, and you're absolutely right, but only to a certain point. Another suggestion that I've gotten but avoided is only using the small cog on the map geared. The reason for why I avoided this one should be a clearer example of why I avoided off the coast, simply because the space is too small to allow the player to have enough choices to make the challenge interesting. If the space is too small, then every player will approach the challenge in exactly the same way because no other option is even viable. Now, the geared example is a bit extreme. On the map we're playing today we do have a bit more space, so I decided to give it a go anyway, partially to see how small of an area we can go down to and still keep the challenge interesting. So to begin with, we chose Geraldo because of the farming that we will need to do. It will be using abilities, since we can't fit any banana farms, and using Geraldo's rejuve potion is great for ability based farming. On top of this, we will of course have the action figure as well, which will account for about 50% of our income in this run, and because of the extra small amount of space in this episode of this challenge series, we won't have a lot of money at all even when using Geraldo as our hero, so Isili did not seem like a good alternative to me. You probably won't be able to save up to a good setup using her as your hero. So Geraldo it is, and the positioning of him is very intentional, as you can see. If you place the action figure as far up as you can on the mast of the boat, you can just barely fit a sniper there as well, so we don't want to place Geraldo up there, since then we won't be able to fit the action figure because Geraldo has a larger footprint. The farming will be using 4 middle path snipers and a spirit of the forest. At this point we could sell Geraldo since we already placed the action figure, and that won't disappear even if we sell Geraldo. It will stay and continue to gain value. But we chose to keep Geraldo since I think the rejuve potions will generate more cash than adding a 5th sniper, and using the other store items will allow us to survive longer. Once on round 100 we are missing some firepower to take down the bad, so we sell one of our middle path snipers and get the cripple Moab instead mid-round, and that was just enough to take it down, and should be of big help in the coming few rounds as it's getting hard to survive at this point. A lot of the rounds are going to be very close and require some help from Geraldo, and I must say it was pretty fun using him for this challenge. Choosing items from the store to try and beat around using as little as possible was pretty entertaining. But soon we needed more than that, so I got rid of the sniper on top of the mast and placed down a Grand Sabo instead. But that only helped for about 2 rounds, so then I got a Superstorm up front. The plan was to use the Superstorm in combination with my Grand Sabo and my cripple Moab to stall the Moabs at the start of the track where the spirit does the most amount of damage, but soon there were too many Moabs for the Superstorm to be able to handle. Here I got a mad to be able to take down the Moabs that were getting past the storm, but this setup struggled at round 119 versus the 3 bads due to the insides leaking, and I fixed this by getting a BMA that would enable me to not have to focus the mad on any of the insides except the DDTs, and this was just enough to get past round 119. Now we will soon need to start spending all the money that we have saved up. Even if we use the ice trick to fit more towers on the boat, we still can't fit a super monkey, so any temple is out of the question, and so is getting any ace Paragon or alike. In case you missed it, Punji recently made a video showing a bug with the new wizard Paragon. If you upgrade the Wizard Lord Phoenix into the Paragon while its ability is active, the Paragon will be stuck in the morphed version where it is super strong and uses its fire attack. On top of this, the Dark Phoenix is still there despite that normally when the ability is active it disappears. And also the wizard's fire attack continues even if he runs out of mana, making him extremely strong all the time. In this challenge I wanted to try out the bug before it gets fixed, but sadly the thing about this bug is that if you back out or retry a round, the bug disappears, so it's pretty annoying to make use of, particularly in this challenge. On round 153 the Paragon failed, and as you can see if I retry it can't really do anything anymore. So we go again, and this time we will skip the wizard and go for the ninja instead. The problem here is that it will be degree 1, because I used all of the space for farming instead of farming pops, because we really need all the money we can get if we want any chance at getting any more Paragons after this one. The Ninja Paragon, especially since the last update, is super strong for challenges like this, but where this setup will fail is when multiple bads get past the Ninja. The Ninja can blow them up using the global range sticky bomb, but the insides will be too much, so placing a BMA will help out a lot. Eventually though, that also fails, but at this point we got just enough money for a second Paragon, which will be the Glaive Dominus, placed on the right side so that he can stun and take down the insides of the bads that pop super late. This will be very helpful and allows us to at least save up a little bit more money, but not much because now we don't have a lot of space left to farm, but it was enough to get a few more towers to help out. As we get past 170, rounds are getting really tough. Here, the BMA is really needed to take care of the insides of the bads that pop right at the exit, because even if the Glaive Dominus can stun them there, as they pop they will get past him. While this challenge had very little space, I do still think that it was enough to at least make it a fun challenge, so I'm glad I tried it out. At round 173 I'm getting overrun by bads and I decided to call it a day. I feel like doing some chimps challenges, so if you have any challenges that you think might be fun, leave them down below and give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.